and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Hi, I'm Mand. So as you probably can tell by the title of this video, what I'm going to actually be talking about today, forgive me, I'm a bit stumbly over my words, I'm not sure what's going on, but today I want to talk about some books. But first of all, before we get into the books, I just want to say, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love to have you here. If this is kind of your thing, I talk about all things like tarot and oracle deck reviews. I go through those, talk about books. I have a great passion for books, anything spiritual, and sometimes I do cover paranormal stories occasionally here as well. So if that is your jam, please do hit the subscribe. Also hit the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. I'm aiming to upload twice a week now, so yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. So, and also if you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, they are below in the description box. Yes, that's it. Right, let's get into the books, because you don't want to spend too long on the intro, do you? So I have a decent stack of books. These are all kind of like the spiritual witchy type. If you want me to cover kind of more fiction, I do love reading fiction books as well. I have an extensive collection at this stage of books, which is probably a bit ridiculous at this stage. My TBR is growing by the day because I'm constantly seeing like other books that I want to add. My wish list is ridiculously long as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, do you like reading non-fiction, fiction? Like what's your taste? Let me know. So the first book that I'm actually currently reading at the moment, and I'm not really sure whether I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. It's Protect Your Light by George Lizos. Is that how you pronounce it? So this is the book, and it's about a practical guide to energy protection, cleansing, and cutting cords. And I actually seen Rebecca Campbell show this on, was it her Instagram or Facebook? Anyway, and I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. And I read like the little blurb about it, and I was like, oh, that actually sounds really cool. I'm only 80 odd pages into it. It's not an overly big book. I do like, I'm a weirdo. I like floppy paperbacks. I love hardbacks, but they can be quite expensive. So I'm not sure as of yet whether I like it or not. There's some things at the start that I'm kind of like, it's not in my beliefs, but like, you're going to have that with certain books. You're not going to agree with everything, and I think that's completely normal. So I do like some of the exercises so far, or meditations, that he has shown in this book. So I will let you guys know once I have it finished. I might do it in like a chit chat kind of video or whatnot, but as of right now, I'm not really sure. So he goes through like different like the different levels to like cleansing. So you have to like center yourself and ground yourself, and he goes through all that. So it is interesting, and like why we have maybe different energy attachments, or energy attacks is what he calls them as well. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I kind of have like mixed feelings, but I don't think that's a bad thing either, you know. Yeah, here it is. It's the 7 steps of energy protection. So this is really about, you know, especially if you're into doing spiritual working and stuff, it's very important to protect your energy, right? So he goes through there's a 7-step protection framework. So it's centering, grounding, connecting, identifying, clearing, shielding, and doing the work. And he does simplify it, to be fair. There's nothing too overly complicated. It's not like you're kind of going, what the heck does that mean? Because I find some books can be very, very overcomplicated, and you're like, I've read this page like 10 times and I still don't know. But this is very simple and straightforward. So I'm gonna kind of keep reading it to see how I get on. So far it's not enjoyable. Does that make sense? But yeah, that's the book I'm currently reading at the moment. So I wanted to show the stack that is on my list, and I just realized this one is, I showed it actually in my recent book haul. It's the Book of Shadows. I don't know why I have on top. I think I just grabbed my stack of TBRs. But this is actually more a journal than it is a book. So if you want to see that, go check the last video out. So, right, we have a few. I'm going to keep this kind of short so you guys aren't here all day. So the first one, I don't have a particular order of what one I'm reading after. I know some people read like 2 or 3 spiritual books at once. I'm reading 2 books. I'm reading a fiction and I'm reading a spiritual book. And that's how I'm just going to continue this year, because I found when I was reading like 2 or 3 different books, you know, spiritual books, like I was getting information mixed up and things like that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I did finish the Herbal Magic and the Fairy Magic. I showed those. And this is part of this collection as well. This is Moon Magic. I love any books about the moon and stuff, but I am the worst, to be honest, at buying these books and just leaving them sit on my shelf and just dip in and out. I really want to actually spend time this year like diving deep into hair. Stop. I'm just having one of those hair days. I just want to spend more time and take my time reading books. I don't want any guilt around not finishing books as well, because I have an awful habit of forcing myself to read books that I'm not enjoying, and I think, you know, a lot of people is a DNFs, like, you know, did not finish or do not finish, or, you know, whatever, however they say it. So I'm definitely going to start doing that this year. If a book isn't grabbing my attention and I'm not enjoying it, I'm just going to put it to the side. If I come back in a few months' time and it grabs my attention and then I get it, that's fine. That can happen as well. I find sometimes the book doesn't grab me the first time around, but I could pick it up like a year later and I absolutely love it and devour it. So this is a handbook of lunar cycles, lore, and mystical energies. I love the sound of this. This is by Aurora Ken. I've mentioned this before. I actually showed this. It's fab, and it actually has more than 100 spells and rituals as well. And it's not too chunky of a book. I love the fact that it's hardback as well. Hardbacks are my favorite. But I do like a good paperback as well, because they're kind of, especially when they're like big books. There is 187 pages. And then you have like the index at the back and stuff. No, not the index. Yeah, it is the index. Oh my gosh. But I really like the look of this book. I've shown this, so I won't go into too much details, but it has like the different moon phases, intention setting, and I really enjoyed the other 2 books that she wrote as well, about the Herbal Magic and the Fairy Magic. I really enjoyed them. So they're like really quick, easy reads, if that makes sense. Sorry, there's more on like the months and stuff. Oh, I love that. So you have cultural beliefs, goddesses, and Wicca. So there's like just bits and pieces of everything. But her books are so digestible, if that makes sense. Like you can put like little sticky tabs in it. I love the fact that you have crystals as well, because I really love crystals. And so you have like the new moon, waxing moon, full moon, waning, and then you have candles and moon magic. So that seems really interesting to me. And then you have like astrology in it. So it's a really like jam-packed, juicy book by the looks of it. Again, I must read it, but it just seems to have like enough information, if that makes sense. Just enough information to, you know, if you wanted to dive deeper, you could get other books on it. Does that make sense? So the next one, this is actually a new one that I bought with, I got Protect Your Light, and then I also bought this one. It's Emma Mumford, Hurt, Healing, Healed. So it's release limiting beliefs, fears, and blocks to supercharge your manifestation. And I love the whole law of attraction, but going further than law of attraction and things like that. But this is the only book on the law of attraction you need. I feel like a lot of books say that. Like, this is the only tarot book you need. Like, we all know, if you're a book lover, you'll never need just one. You're going to need loads. So whether that's a spiritual book or fiction, you know, it doesn't matter. I do believe in reading different books about the same topic to see different viewpoints. I do think that's very important. It's very interesting as well. Sometimes you'll agree with what they're saying and sometimes you won't. And I feel like that's so normal, and sometimes we can feel a bit guilty about like, oh well, I don't see it that way. We're humans, you know. It's good to have different opinions and have good debates about that, you know. So that's the book. That's the spine. This seems like jam-packed. To be honest, it seems like a very interactive book from what I've just flipped through. Again, I need to read it. So it's broken down into three parts. So you've part 1 is hurt, and then healing and healed. So okay, so that's on the front of it. And then it also has like the other books by her. Now I haven't read any other books. I know she's on YouTube, so it's like the writing isn't overly small. I appreciate that, because sometimes when the writing is very, very small, it's not that I find it hard to read, I find it hard to concentrate, because I feel like there's just so much information that I have to really, really, really pay attention, and sometimes I end up reading the same page like 4 or 5 times, and that can be a bit much. So you have like what causes limiting beliefs and fears, and I love the fact that she has like the chakras as well, because I'm very, very interested in chakras and energy work and things like that. So that would be completely up my alley as well. And she does have like different journaling prompts, so I absolutely like, oh, I love that. Okay, so this one is control and acceptance, and then you have like a practice, you have your journaling prompts, activity and action. So that's really cool, actually. I'm looking forward to reading this book. I feel like this is really, really interesting. So I'll just put the back here, so if you do want to read the back of it. But basically, you're working through sources of pain in your past, exploring and raising your inner vibration and energy, reconnecting to your true self with unconditional love, exploring your personal history and rewriting limiting beliefs, and overcoming your blockages and resistance to reignite your manifesting power. So I'm excited to read this. This looks like a really, really good read. Okay, I promise we only have a few more. So the next one on my list, I've had this one actually for a while. I did start reading it a while back, but I'm definitely going to go back and reread it. I think I have like 2 books that I've done that, 3 actually. Is Past Lives. It's discover and connect with your past lives to create positive change, and that's by I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name. So it's a Hay House Basics. I have a few of theirs. Hold on, I must take a sip of water because I sometimes chat a lot. So that is the back. It's very simple. So I love the way they've broken down, like this book explores how regression works, the secret clues to your past lives that show up in this life, astonishing cases of children's past life memories, how to discover your own past lives, the benefits of past life awareness, and the positive messages that can come true during a regression, and much more. These books tend to be like really packed with information, but digestible. Does that make sense? So like, it is Hay House Basics. I did enjoy it when I started it, so I don't know why I stopped. I tend to do that, but I do want to get around to reading that at some stage. So if you're into past lives, like I am, I feel like past lives and the Akashic Records kind of go hand in hand. I have a book on the Akashic Records, I just didn't bring it in for this video. I am interested. I have done 2 or 3 past life regressions, and I found them very, very interesting, actually. They're nothing to be scared of. I feel like with our past lives, we can learn a lot. We can gain a lot of knowledge and kind of get a better understanding of ourselves now, or you know, maybe things that we carried from our past lives that we brought here and what we have to learn. There's just this whole depth, and yeah, I can't wait to read that. I'm going to try and keep this nice and short. Another one is The Witch's Book of Self-Care, and I've had this for ages. I mean ages. And this is the author of The Green Witch as well, is Erin Murphy Hiscock. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I have The Green Witch. I really want to read that, but I love this one. It's like, or the sound of this one, it's the magical ways to pamper, soothe, and care for your body and spirit. And I think that's just beautiful. Like, that's the back of it. So look at that. I just flipped to this one. It's the importance of being authentic. Like, this is just, It looks really, really nice from what I had when I seen it in the bookshop, and I got that a while back. Hate to admit that. But she's like different exercises, and like you've journal exercises to do as well if you wanted to. Things you can make, which is so cool, like baked macaroni and cheese, rosemary potatoes, the benefits of tea. Like there's just all these things that can like comfort you, and how we're definitely coming into an age of where people are taking care of themselves, and self-care is becoming far more popular, which is great. I know I say this quite a lot on my own Instagram, is we cannot fill from an empty cup. So I definitely feel this would be great to get some tips and tricks as well myself, because sometimes I can be the worst person at taking my own advice. So we've only 2 more books, guys. 2 more books. This one is the Psychic Tarot. I don't know when I got this. I got this a while back, but it is one that I want to read this year. It's using your natural psychic abilities to read the cards. And that's the author. Again, I don't want to butcher the names. That is the back. This isn't me recommending, by the way. This is just me showing you books that I want to read. I haven't read them yet. I even have a little bookmark in here ready to go. I haven't even started. So there's like 20 chapters. It's not an overly big book. Like you have, one second, let me just read the contents. So you have Before You Begin in blocks, and then you have The Power of a Reading, Tarot Basics. You have Minor Arcana, the Court Cards, the Major Arcana, Energy Basics, Seeing the Unseen. There's a lot in this book actually. Oh great, see, you have Grounding. I feel like grounding is so overlooked sometimes. Intent, Form, Synchronicity, Closure, and Integration. Reading Tarot with the Sight, Helpful Boundaries, and Traits of a True Reader. So I feel like if you were into tarot and you want to learn, or maybe you're finding it hard to learn the basics, I know I sometimes still do. I have a wonderful book as well actually that I'm trying to work through. I think it's from Llewellyn. It's one of like Tarot 101 or something. It's like quite a big chunky book, but I find it hard to stick with. So I definitely need to bring that down with my journal again and start doing it. But I thought this would be a great one to read. And the last but not least, and I'm super excited about this, I actually started reading this some time ago, but then I stopped. But I want to get back into it because it's a gorgeous book. It's stunning. It's The Seasonal Soul, A Mystic's Guide to Inner Transformation. Like, this book is massive. It is so pretty. I mean, look, it has black. I love this. This is so yummy. It's the only way I can describe it. It's so beautiful. Let me show you a couple of pages. Right, so this is a journey of self-discovery, right? It's about going through the different seasons, like you've winter, spring, summer, autumn. So it's how we as humans go through different seasons. And like, look at that exercise. So this is an exercise you can do. It's an integration ritual. I mean, how pretty is that? Like, just the artwork alone, I'm hoping this is showing up, because this is a really heavy book. And I love the way, like, it's like you're reading in one way somebody's journal that they're willing to show, by the way, that they're willing to share. That, like, oh, it's just, so the one that I was on is actually winter, I believe. So it does go through, like, the different seasons before you start. And then, like, cycles within cycles. So you have, like, the Wheel of the Year, sorry, is this side. Kind of the Wheel of the Year, not so much about like the Sabbats and the holidays and things like that, but was I on the winter? Have I even, like, archetypal soul characters? I love that. I need to, no, I haven't even started. So this would be the first part. So you start at winter. Like, I don't know why I put this down. I think it's because it's such a chunky book. So you have the signs and attributes. Winter. Is that winter is coming? Is that like a Game of Thrones reference? Has anybody else seen Game of Thrones? Anyway, and like you may recognize winter as. So it's really, it looks like such a fun read. It is a fun read because I did start some of it. Like, here's another thing. An exercise, letters from the universe, create an intention and what you need. I'm excited to get back into this. I have no excuse not to. Seriously, no excuse. So that is my stack of books that I want to read in the next couple of months, all going well. Let me know in the comments, what are you reading? What books are on your TBR? What other books should I check out? Because I'm always on the lookout for more books. So do let me know. I am going to love you and leave you at that. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. And I will chat to you all real soon. Bye guys.